So good morning and welcome to your self-realization. We'll start with a gratitude prayer. Mother, Father, God, we give gratitude and thank yous for this day. We ask for your infinite light of protection to be with us and through us and wherever we are, so that only the highest and best will occur through our thoughts, words, and actions. And with this blessing and more, we give thanks for this day. Amen. Okie dokie. Today we're going to be talking about auras.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're going to go into chakras after auras. And so, when I think about auras, I actually image immediately what that is. And everyone's so different. So when I say the word aura, what happens for everyone here? Just curiosity, when you think of your aura or someone else's aura or just the word itself, what shows up for you? Anyone?
Well, I'll speak to it. I read the ethereal space off of the first layer of aura.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see them. I have a guide that helps me so I can read them, but it's more a sense of what the color is rather than seeing it. And I've got 2 or 3 books on learning to read auras, but somehow I have never done it. So, and I have another spiritual coach beside you guys, and I think about 4 years ago is when I learned to do it. And so,
Yeah,
I actually am very good with the auras. I'm not so good with the chakras.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so I have a guy, that same guy helps me with the chakras, but actually she does it. And I'm the one that dictates. I'm the one that takes the notes.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to understand that it changes. It's not, I think before I started studying it, I thought that your aura was your aura all the time, the same. And I didn't realize the layers change depending on where you're at.
Yeah. So do you see, so when you said etheric and all that, do you do it with your eyes closed?
Nope.
So you just know?
I just kind of stare off into a space.
Mm-hmm. Is there any color that shows up in your mind's eye, or a thought of a color, or a feeling? What is that like for you?
So when I'm reading the ethereal, I get a picture. I mean, a pretty detailed picture.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm reading the aura, and I see that picture. I mean, I visualize it in my mind's eye.
Yeah.
But when I'm reading the auras, it's just a sense of, oh, I think it's this color, and then this color, and then this color.
Uh-huh.
And I don't really do that for people. I do the chakras for people. I mean, I have a whole system where I do chakra readings and write it down and send them all with it.
Mm-hmm.
Something to work on.
Mm-hmm.
And but the auras, I guess I just kind of do it for fun.
Yeah.
But I have to turn it on. It's not like, like some people see, probably Reverend David sees everybody's aura every time he looks at it if he wants to. And maybe you do too. I don't know. Maybe Reverend. I'm going to be interested to see what you guys say.
It's interesting. I'll just reply first on that one. For myself, if okay, so if I'm gonna meet somebody and someone introduces me to the person, the interesting part is my eyes are open. I'm shaking someone's hand. In the past, if you're in person or whatnot, back in the day when we were doing this kind of thing, and I'd be in front of the person, I'm already in this, it's like a different field. It's a different, well, it's not anything different, but it feels like a different field for me because I'm not being um visual, and it's almost like I just shut off the eyes completely, and now I'm in the energy with that person, and we're like communicating, and everything I'm hearing just shuts off. So I don't get their name. I don't hear what people are saying, like, oh, it's very nice to meet you. Oh, you look so familiar. Like I hear it somewhere there, but I'm in this total, it's like something totally takes over in that space. And I will be like, I think of it as like this auric connection somehow, as though I've met them before and I'm relating to how I know this energy somehow, and sometimes it may it may be great or it may not be good. And the one that when it's not good, those are more like if I've touched the skin. Like I remember this one, I'll just recall one manager that was just like, as soon as I met him and we shook hands, it was like, oh, like I just knew. And that one, I was not in that auric zone. It was just knowing, and you just let go. And it's like, okay, that, and you're not, it's more like when someone is, if I've known them before, or, like we've reconnecting somehow, it's like, oh, and then there's this long pause for me, it seems like. And then I come around again, and it's like, and then I go to David usually, what was that person's name again? You know, I go, what was that person's name? Tell me the name again. And he's like, oh, and even he even sometimes has that, I don't know what his is, but even he sometimes we would have to hear it again. Um, that's my experience of aura more than anything else. If we do a session of trying to see someone's aura for whatever health reason, like um giving a healing or something like that, then I'm really working with that. But other than that, it's just like as if you're going to give a message. I just go, turn it off. Okay, we're not doing that today. So that's my experience. Reverend David, do you want to say what your experience is when do you constantly see auras on everybody, or what's your?
It's mostly knowing.
Mhm.
I just feel the difference, and I have to get out of the logic and get into that, because everybody's energy is a different logic.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm in that logic, and I can get in with the imagery, and I have to be careful of what I'm saying. But I want to be into that logic of that person. So every time I see an aura, I'm noticing something different than when we first met that day. Everything, so. And it gets, if you don't, you be aware of that, you can be way up in left field, and you think you're in right field.
Your character. You way over right field or the left field. Yeah,
I think
go ahead.
um, my experience with auras and the question about, do you see auras around everybody all the time, everywhere you go? I would say no, that I don't. And I think that the reason for that is that I place protection around myself every day. And I don't think it's healthy for me to go around seeing other people's stuff all the time. So but if I'm meeting somebody, or dealing with somebody, or I get a sense of something, then I trust myself with my intuition and my senses. But I take very seriously the teaching at the chapel. Like, if we are going to someone to give a message, that we always ask permission first. And I think that I'm a person of, I guess I would say, very high ethics. So I don't go around trying to see auras everywhere that I go, because I think that would not allow me to have my own personal experience. I'm trying to pull in everybody else's experiences into me, which doesn't always feel good. But if I use my energy wisely, then I will get feelings of stay away from here, or stay away from there, or go here, go there, that type of thing. So that's kind of experiencing auras in a healthy way, without intruding on other people's space.
Yeah.
And bringing their energy into my own, which I don't want to just invite that anytime, because I've worked very hard to keep my energy healthy, and a lot of energies out there are not really healthy, so I don't want to invite it in just haphazardly, I guess I should say. So sometimes I will experience colors. A lot of times it's like lights that may increase or decrease depending on where the lights are at. And sometimes, because I'm primarily clairsentient, a lot of it is a knowing, it's a feeling. But I guess I experience all of those at some point or another, depending on what the situation is.
Yeah. So well said there. Thank you.
Well, I want to say thank you for sharing. I'm going to get rid of my books on learning how to read auras.
I think that's really wise.
I feel that listening to all three of you in little bits of it, but I think that's why I've never learned, is because I've never been guided to learn. It's because it is an invasion. When somebody comes to me and says, or calls me on the phone and or texts me and makes an appointment to have their chakras read, that to me gives me permission.
Mhm.
So, and part of that chakra reading is to do the ethereal reading.
Yeah.
And I don't want the added responsibility just listening to you guys. I realize if I'm sitting with 4 students in front of me, I don't want to be reading their auras and go with Angie's thing about, well, I'm not hearing a thing they're saying because I'm so confused about, well, why is the aura changing like this? My gosh, it's different than it was yesterday, or whatever. So yeah.
It's kind of interesting because I never really understood what was going on when I was meeting people, like why it was like almost there was no understanding of time.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden I'm in, alert, like I'm present again. And it was kind of like, that was weird. And it took a lot of time in my life to really figure out what that introduction is. And it's just, 2 souls showing up together in that, understanding of, and the interesting part is the acceptance of that connection together or not. Like I was saying, if it's not a pleasant experience, I'm way on the other side of the room. or okay, people, places, and things, goodbye, that kind of thing. It's so not only are we, I'm gonna read a little bit about this too while we have a little
Yeah,
bit
because I would like to learn what the church says about it.
uh, so an aura is a magnetic field that surrounds and penetrates the body through the body. We are a magnet, and all things have an aura. Magnetic and bipolar. So negative polarity is the physical body and its vital organs, and the aura is more dense where those organs are. And you can tell the dis-ease. You can tell where the dis-ease is located too. If you need to, you'll be able to find it or even feel it. Like I have even held someone's sweater that was really, really ill. And we were just handing sweaters back to people at one time. This was a very long time ago. I just recall it where I was like, oh, whoa. And what I found out was that sweater belonged to someone who had passed away. And this person was also not feeling well, but she had been wearing that person's sweater. It was like her mother's or something like that. And it was like, oh, and it didn't really register until I absolutely needed it, in these, like it's understood, the memory of it came back and it was like, oh yeah, that happened. So you can feel it in objects as well. So positive polarity is the soul, conscious, and selfhood of a person, God individuality. The physical body is an electrical force. In order to move the body needs electricity, and the medulla sends electrical impulses to the heart. The characteristics of those impulses creates dis-ease or ease, which is your character. The aura is the sum total of life and other life experiences. Spiritual development gives added riches to your life, and the aura around your head is more pronounced. And why? The reason is we have all those 12 powers that we've been talking, well, not all of them, but there's the mind powers, and there's a lot of them too in that area. So there is zeal in the medulla, which sends impulses to the heart. There's will, the center front brain, which is action. Understanding is in the front brain. Imagination, third eye. Faith, center brain. And power, the throat. And then we have our love, 12 power in the heart. And then it goes further on. So life, solar plexus, is a gateway to your soul and the reproductive organs. Judgment is in the stomach area. Order is the solar plexus. Go figure. And elimination, solar plexus. Strength, base of the spine, small of the back, and then the feet. And that is, we already talked about elimination. There's something missing in there. Life. Life is in the feet section. Life.
Life is
Life is
solar plexus. It says solar plexus and reproductive organs. So it's, what I think is kind of interesting is that, okay, for myself, a very long time ago, I had in a meditative moment, I saw and experienced a single drop of water, like hanging from my little finger. And I was just so focused on little finger. And it was in my mind's eye, a little finger. It wasn't my physical little finger. But anyway, I saw this and experienced this single drop of water. And I understood that all of creation was in that single drop. That everything, all the mind powers, all of the colors, all of the energies, everything was in that single drop of water. And it helped me to kind of understand that that we're made up of all of these little impulses, like electrical impulses that kind of appear and disappear all the time. We have, our energetic bodies. And so every one of those mind powers is in every single cell of our being. When we learn about it, we focus on it in certain areas so that we can understand them and that we can focus on them and get information through them. But we're so much more than that. We're so much further beyond all of that. And like, talking about at the same that we were talking about auras, Lady J, you were talking about chakras, and it's like reading auras and reading chakras. It's like, for me, it goes beyond just that this chakra is this color in this place. It's they're all encompassing for everything in every place. I don't know if that is more confusing or if it's I feel like when I place protection around myself, I always say that only the highest and best is able to penetrate that protection. And so I know that if I have other experiences, whether they're positive or negative or otherwise, if I'm experiencing it, it's for my highest and best good, and I have something to learn from it. And if I see an aura around something or somebody, I know that it's for my highest and best to have that experience at that moment, because I've already placed my protection around myself.
And that protection is the confidence that what you are seeing and feeling is very accurate. And it's important for a medium to be accurate. And you can't be swayed away from that accuracy. The more you use protection, the more accurate you're going to be. And you're going to be able to get the point across much more. And you don't have to confirm, keep on confirming what you're seeing or noticing. You just know it. And that is the confidence that will go with it.
True enough.
Thank you.
So we perceive aura by clairvoyance, subjective and objective. So subjective, our eyes are closed. Objective, our eyes are open. Some people do not see, so they close their eyes and all of a sudden, woo, I feel it, I see it, I understand it, or whatever it is, because we're, go vacuum, we have all the gustatory, olfactory, all those different senses, right? How we see, sense, feel. And then also by clairsentience, knowing, feeling, intuition. And then there's divisions of the aura, the physical, mental, and spiritual. The physical, the contour of the body, small line of 3/16 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch in width. And the width can vary. They're transparent most of the time and surrounds the body and indicates the health. The mental is more dense and has color texture, which is 2 inches to 4 inches in width. And it indicates the development of the person. And then spiritual starts where the inner or mental leaves off and colors are more pastel. All divisions are intermingling with no limit in size. The development of the aura has 3 stages, and the stages are not always in this order. There's wavy, fine, force, fog, or cloud-like. First are most likely to see around the head, neck, and shoulders, and it's not always the same. the perception of color, a line contour of the aura. And this is seeing the 3 divisions. And then symbols, transfiguration, change of expression in the face. Auras will appear and disappear quickly and move from one part of the body to another, from body to space. And I take that's what you were talking about there, Marcia. Reverend Marcia. It's like they show up in one way, or it's like moving in different places. How to develop the aura seeing. You do not need any material or chemical matter. You have all the material and chemicals within you. Practicing right at home, using a light background. So whenever we're doing these things, we were doing them on Zoom after, all this stuff started occurring. But when we're in person, we would have someone sit in the front of the room against a white wall, or a light, some sort of light background. At the chapel, it was a white wall. So that was very helpful. And then we dim the lights for less distraction. It's better for the less distraction. And then everyone relaxing physically, including the actual person. And you can use a candle, looking into the flame. When you start seeing the colors, then move to people. So if you're not able to immediately be able to see, that's how you're like, you can do a development of that by using a candle. And then need to know what the color means to you. So colors have many meanings, and find out what the colors mean to you. We have a color guide that can go out. I know Reverend Marcia and myself, we've had that in our classes or whatnot, but Lady J, if you need a color guide, I can send that off to you. And it's really what it is it's just having specific colors that mean something. But for all of the teachings that we do, including chakras, is what do they really mean to you? And not specifically you, Lady J, but all beings. What do they mean to us? Because everything is different. Everything is different to each person, and what we want to learn, or what spiritual beings do we have around us that are a part of these colors too, some
in all these years, I have never used that color guide.
I know. Like I've done quite a bit of them, and I haven't gone back lately. So it's interesting, you're talking about that, because it's within time that we see something, and it's like, oh, like even every day, like when I change, into another color, I'll think like I can never pick out my clothing the day before, because on that day, if I go to that color, it sometimes doesn't mean the same as it did the day before. So that I have to put it back all the time. It's like, I don't want that today, or that's not what I'm in today, It's really quite interesting.
Well, I would appreciate if you send it to me, not because I'm going to use it for the auras, but just because colors are fascinating to me.
Yeah, it's a sheet that has maybe 20 colors, and then on the back side it has the same 20, but what they mean to you. And what David has said so many times is, this is a lifetime list. And then you just keep making more, because all of a sudden you come across it and you think, that really feels like this to me. Writing it down, where's my color guide? I'm going to go write that down. And it, it's like it's a support. Yeah. And nothing is set in stone, because it may change within time for ourselves too. And that is,
there's one thing that's kind of really interesting to me personally is when you talk about symbols connected to transfiguration, and that's something that when I talk to people a lot, I really hesitate. I don't look into people's eyes very much, because if I focus on somebody's eyes, then I automatically start seeing transfiguration. I see their face change into different faces or different beings, or or whatever. And for me personally, that's sometimes been helpful, but sometimes it's been confusing or disturbing for me. So I'm real careful with it. Um, I see transfiguration on myself in the mirror, and that's how my grandmother first came to me, was through transfiguration. I was looking in the mirror, and all of a sudden I didn't realize it was my grandmother at first. I thought there was something really wrong with me because I looked like, I mean, I was like in my 40s and I looked like I was in my 80s. But I, with that, being able to recognize who it was and then being able to communicate with her and gain information from her, that was really helpful. But most of the time, I have no idea what it is I'm looking at. So yeah, transfiguration is something really interesting to me, but I'm still working on that part of aura development, I guess.
Was your grandmother alive, Reverend Marshall? At the
Oh
time?
no, no. Um, when I first started just rediscovering myself, opening to myself, um, I was so terrified of so much. Because I had seen so many things that really disturbed me and scared me, and I spent many years blocking everything from happening. So when I started making a conscious decision to open, I needed, or I guess the universe knew I needed someone very loving and gentle and that I trusted more than anything to work with me. And it turned out to be my grandmother. And I never realized when she was alive just how metaphysical she was. I became really, really close with her when I just first started developing. And she first came to me through the smell of her cookies. So that was, I smelled her cookies, and I said to her, "Grandma, your cookies," oops, do you hear that strange, there's a strange noise?
No, I don't hear anything.
I hear it.
You do?
You
Yeah,
do
it's
hear
like
it?
I thought it was
Jay?
Casey trying to get in for a minute, but
Yeah, it was somebody else's voice. It was that was interesting. um, yeah,
Hi.
yeah, that's very interesting. But yeah, my grandmother became very instrumental for me to help me to feel comfortable with my own development. And then after a few years, she kind of faded away and let me work with some of the more, I guess, powerful energies around me that I had been so frightened of before. And when I was able to, then I could work with the more powerful energies and be okay. So I think everybody's so individual. Everybody's experiences are different, and everybody's needs when they're developing is different. So it's a very personal and individual thing.
Thank you. Good stuff. Okay, we'll do our meditation on what we were just talking about. That's Such deep stuff, really. Interesting when we're talking about aura is like so much more life and everything around us, all the energy. And
I'm not hearing you very well. What happened?
can you hear me right now?
It's kind of light. You're a little bit muted.
Yeah, it's like you're not turned on. I can hear Reverend Marsha just fine.
Can you hear me?
Well, I can't hear him very well either, but frequently I can't hear him very
You
well.
hear me right now? You cannot hear me?
Yes, but you're just, it's like it's a softer voice than usual.
Well, that's interesting.
That's nice.
Now you're coming back.
All right, let me try to do something here.
We've done it.
I did? I done it? Can
I
you?
think so.
Well, I haven't done anything.
Well, no, I'm not hearing you any better.
We're talking about this going into the aura has different levels of consciousness. And you're able to do that sometimes without even knowing. So if you're talking to someone and they're having a hard time hearing you, just speak up.
Are you hearing that?
Yes,
Okay.
you're back.
I'm back? Okay, maybe I'll get closer to the computer? I don't know what's going on. Okay. I guess the benefit of the next steps are a meditation. So if I'm late, then we're late, you know. I guess we could bring earphones. However, Reverend David would have to have his own too. Okay, so let's get comfortable wherever we are and close your eyes. And let us concentrate on our breath. As this breath moves through the nostrils, it relaxes each muscle, nerve, and vessel in our being. This breath is what sustains you. It is the breath of life. Feel the relaxation that this breath brings to your being. As this relaxation moves gently in and around each part of your being, it turns into something very beautiful called love. You recognize this love as being alive and active in each breath. Just relax and recognize. As you exhale, you release physical toxins and negative attitudes you have toward yourself and all people concerned. Relax, recognize, and release. As you are releasing the toxins and attitudes, they are being dispersed into the I am. Gently allow this breath to settle in the feet area. This is the understanding part of our being, and as you understand yourself clearly, then you understand the world that you move in. Just relax, recognize, and release. Feel all tension, nervousness, and frustration leave as this breath moves to the ankles and up the legs. Feeling all agitations and irritations being dissolved. Relax, recognize, and release. As this breath moves to the hip area, relax and release that which does not belong to you. The hip represents independent movement. You are now free to move in life and free to be you. Very gently allow this breath to move to the base of the spine and the small of the back. Allow the breath to stay here for a few moments. This breath becomes stronger and stronger, for this is the strength area. Strength is confidence, security, and firmness. Now allow the breath to move up the spine. As this breath touches all vertebrae, muscles, and nerves, you feel enlightened, giving up the burdens that do not belong to you and taking care of what does belong to you. As this breath moves up the spine, you feel confident, secure, and firm. Relax, recognize, and release that which does not belong to you. As this breath touches the shoulders, feel all tension, nervousness, and frustration leaving. The shoulders represent responsibility in life. Know with each breath that you are doing your responsibility in life with freedom and ease. You also allow all other people to do their responsibilities with the same freedom and ease. Allowing this breath now to move down the arms, relaxing, recognizing, and releasing, reaching the hands. The hands are the giving and receiving part of our being. We give to receive and receive to give. As this breath is in the hands area, feel the breath that is between your hands and how good this breath feels. This goodness is you, and you are extremely good. Take this goodness that is you and place it in the lower abdomen area. The greatest gift of all lies here, life. You are full of life, and life is full of you. Life is happiness, health, and wealth. You eliminate all that hinders you from life, and you put order into your life. Order is the adjusting of all mind powers moving in harmonious manner for life. Very gently now, allowing this breath to move to the stomach area. The stomach is the judgment area. Let us fully and freely release all mistakes and judgments that have been made that have led to mistaken action. Replace with correct judgments that lead to correct action. Relax, recognize, and release. Feel all tension, nervousness, and frustration leaving, allowing the breath to move to the heart area. The heart is the love area of our being, and with each beat of the heart, love moves to each part of our body. We radiate this love, and wherever we go, this radiance is felt, and the universe gives back to you that radiance. Relaxing, recognizing, and releasing that which does not belong to you. Very gently allowing this breath to move to the throat area. The throat is the power area in life. You are in command of your life, and you are at ease with that command. Relax, recognize, and release that which does not belong to you. Very gently allowing this breath to move to the back of the head and to the very crown of your head, from the tips of your toes to the crown of your head. You are relaxing, recognizing, and releasing. As you're in this relaxed state, think, feel, or see yourself walking down a path. You feel the path beneath your feet. You notice the grass that lines this path. You notice the sun twinkling through the trees that also line this path. As you walk down the path, there's a gentle breeze that touches your body. This is the breath of life. It allows you to take the next step in knowing yourself. As you walk down this path, there's a clearing in front of you. As you walk into the clearing, the softness of the grass touches your feet. Knowing that you are very protected, you walk into the clearing. There is a body of water that is crystal clear and warm to your touch. There are paths that lead away from the clearing. As you walk to the body of water, if you choose to go into the water, submerging completely in the water, breathing freely and all organs functioning properly, know that you are very protected. If you choose to lay beside the water, absorbing the four elements, the sun, water, air, and earth, or you may choose to explore the paths, feel free to do so and enjoy. remembering all that you have seen, sensed, felt, or heard, and feeling very refreshed and keen. You notice your healing clarity from your healing circle, and you notice that every one of us surround that healing circle. And you notice your healing breath starts to expand to touch each and every one. And we become one healing breath. One healing breath. We direct this healing breath to the healing box. And for all the souls making it have made transition, all the institutes of health that state that peace is a journey and destination, all those affected by the winds and the rain, the snows, and the movement of the earth, the fires, that they were all protected and healed. As you're aware of your healing presence, and as you move towards your path, you notice anything changed, moved, or taken away. When you're on your path, your mental and physical consciousness becomes aware, remembering all that you have seen, felt, and heard, and feeling very refreshed, alert, and keen. And when your mental and physical consciousness is fully aware, open your eyes. All right. Welcome back. Well, hi, Reverend David.
Hi,
How did everybody do? Good, good. Lady J, do you want to talk about your meditation?
Well, it's something kind of interesting. So I went to the meadow. I hesitated a long time by the water and thought about laying down there and all sorts of things. And then I went to the meadow, and I mean, all of that didn't take but a second. And then I walked all the way across the meadow to the other side and sat down and looked at it from the other direction.
Mhm.
And then I had these colors just kind of moved through. They were very muted. Faded, I guess is the word. And I was aware that I didn't know what color they were, but they were different. I knew they were different.
Yeah.
And then I had all these people float through, not any of whom I recognized. And then I kind of zoned out a little bit for a while. I think I went tripping because I came back just before you started talking. It was very interesting. I didn't get any personal hits on anything.
Isn't it interesting? We could be doing two things at one time.
Hmm.
You're doing some work with those people coming through, and you're just like,
And I don't know what that was all about, but it was. And they just literally floated by. Anyway, it was good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Reverend Marcia, how did you do?
Oh, wow. That was an interesting experience. I did submerge into the water, but I don't think I stayed there very long. And all of a sudden I guess I'll have to figure this out later, but I saw a white kitchen. I mean, it was a very clear picture of a white kitchen. So I think that I'll recognize it at some point or another. Yeah, it felt like 3 or 4 meditations in one meditation. So felt like I had a lot of different experiences and felt really good. So thank you.
did that kitchen have a wood stove in it?
I didn't see one. I didn't see a wood stove.
You know what came to my mind when you said white kitchen? I thought about your grandmother and I was like, I wonder what her kitchen looked like because she was talking about the cookies. And I was like, wait, did your grandma have
Oh,
a kitchen?
interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, this one looked very, very modern, like a brand new white kitchen. Um, it felt like something that I will see sometime in the future, but I have not seen physically yet.
What's the significance of a wood stove, Reverend David?
Yeah, why did you bring up the wood stove? What's the significance, she said?
I have no idea.
You know, one thing that's kind of interesting is that we do have a wood stove in our kitchen. I mean, it's not hooked up. It's an antique. It's an antique that is sitting in our kitchen. So we would probably take that wood stove with us, maybe to this new modern white kitchen.
Wow, you two are in the future. Wow. David's with you, hanging out, seeing that wood stove in that modern kitchen. Wow.
It's
Did you-
kind of
Have you ever
interesting.
Have you always wanted maybe a white kitchen? Huh. That's so I always get curious when things like that happen. I always think, you know, what is that?
Yeah.
What does that represent? You know?
Well,
I mean,
the
it was
color.
it was so crystal clear. I mean, it was just a and it didn't last very long. It was, but I could see everything in this kitchen.
Very neat.
There's times when Reverend Marcia's in class that she goes to that kitchen and take care of the bread that she's making.
Yeah, that's right. We're in the middle of class and she goes, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get the bread.
You know, oh gosh, that's so fascinating because yeah, the kitchen is very important to me. Oh wow, okay. I'm kind of connecting something here. When I went into the water, when I submerged into the water, I started just really saying that I nurture myself. And the kitchen is a place of nurturing as far as I'm concerned. So it kind of, I don't know, I think that it's physical healing and emotional healing all kind of connected together.
On your color chart, what does white represent? On the color chart that you have, Angie.
Oh, for my
Oh,
No, on the color chart you have from the church, what is white?
well, it wouldn't be the same for her.
I
It
understand
may.
that. I understand that. I just wondered.
Let's see
I
if
don't even see it on the list.
yeah, we
Oh, no,
have different colors.
cream,
We have different colors, but we don't have
it's
white.
not there.
We don't have white.
So that would be what it means to her. Which is even more.
Yeah, yeah. And to me, the white as I saw it was really sparkly and clean and fresh and new. Almost like a purity. And it kind of it's really interesting. I think I'm going to get a lot more information about this as the day goes on.
Yeah,
Well, to me, a white means a clean slate. Start over.
me too. That's
Interesting.
That's what I'm getting here is like, sparkly, clean, white, everything's just new. Yeah.
How did Reverend David do? Because we're running out of time.
How did you do?
Oh.
You want to run this
Well,
one,
well, we're not
Lady J?
We're not running. There was quite a few things that I went through. And I was in different consciousness most of the meditation. It's lightning, in a way for me to move into this time, and then I'm going into areas where I haven't gone before in this lifetime. But as other lifetimes, it was way into the future. So I'm looking forward to these things.
Yes, I am. Thank you.
And that was it.
Okay. All right. Yes, and it is time. So next week we're going to be talking about the chakras, and we'll move forward with that and how that all blends together. So enjoy your week, and you'll be in the chakra or the auric fields and chakras these next couple weeks here. Enjoy. Enjoy that. Let's do our gratitude. Mother, Father God, we give gratitude and thank yous for this day. We ask for your infinite light of protection to be with us and through us as we go on our path. So when we meet those on our passage, we share the love that is so abundant. And we give thanks for this day. Amen. And thank you. Thank you for sharing. It is so beautiful. All of it. Very healing.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Angie, can you send me another email with your Venmo thing? Or
Oh, sure.
yeah, 'cause
That one that we had.
well, you sent it to me once, but it's probably 150 behind, back there, and for me to find it is, and I'm feeling a real need to send mine, so
Okay. You got it. Thank you.
appreciate it.
Okay.
Thanks.
Will do.
And the color.
Bye,
chart.
everybody.
Have a
Bye.
beautiful day.
Have a wonderful week, everybody.
You too.